sun. Be great at what you do. Give it all of you. And trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You can have it if you dream it. Just be brave and you'll achieve it all. It all. I wanna know if you really want it. And if you do, then just shout it loud and clear. I wanna know if you really need it. And if you do, then just shout it loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Shout it loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Shout it loud and clear.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, good to have you all here this evening. Let's get started. All right. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the DayTradeSPY.com's weekly fireside chat. And this is the introduction to, did this thing go on? Something's going on here. Let me go back here. I'm not really sure what just happened here. I think somebody signed on. Share screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Aaron, what's going on? Are you here? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Hold on one second. Let me see here.
Maybe you might
I
have
think I accidentally made myself host, so I'll make you host again.
make me host. Yeah, but whatever you don't end the webinar. Okay.
Oh yeah, that would be tragic.
Yeah, actually happened once. But
That would be that would be a tragedy, like a comedy and a tragedy at the same time.
yeah, except it wouldn't be very funny because I'd have to kill you. What are you doing? We have
What is
hundreds
that-
of
what is-
people online, eh? We got tons of people online. And they're all here to see us, right?
Exactly.
Oh, good to, oh, how you doing, Aaron? How are you? Let me
Oh, we're doing well. We're doing well. I'm coming back from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Chesapeake, Virginia, and Williamsburg, Virginia. So I came down here. I surprised one of our. I don't know if he's on tonight or not, but I surprised one of our in-resident experts in options, and I was trying to pick his brain, do a little bit of customer service, market research. John M, if you're on, as well as Dan H. So big shout out to you guys. I met them in Vegas, and they treated me to dinner at a wonderful Mexican restaurant in Williamsburg. If any of you go down that way, check out Plaza Azteca. It was a great time, good food. Talked back and forth about our services and how well that they're doing in trading options and how much of a difference it's made for them, and got a little bit of market research on ways that we can improve our service. So everything was great. So it was kind of a hopefully I'll be able to write it off as a business expense on my taxes.
I'm sure you'll.
But we had a great time. We had a great time, and the weather is just getting a little bit warm down here in Virginia Beach. So if any of you are towards the Virginia area, it should be wonderful weather this week, and checked out a few things, and so glad to be here. I'm gonna kind of hibernate for a second here because I got the kiddo in the car, but until my part of the show starts. So nice to be here. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, how's your weekend going so far? I know you were out a little bit earlier. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. A friend of mine died, and we had the celebration of life here today, and that was very nice, and all that. And I actually lost 4 people I worked with in the last month and a half, and I thought, oh my gosh, who's next, right? You get into that point, but you mentioned Virginia. I got to be honest with you, I got a very fond memory of Virginia. When we were driving home there about a month or so ago, I remember we stopped for gas there, and this very good-looking young girl was the cashier or whatever she worked there. And she opened the door for me, and I said, thank you. And then she looked at me with these really nice big beady eyes and said, She said, "You're welcome." But the way she said it was just like very, very nice. I thought, wow, you're very nice. Yeah, it's a
Oh, yeah,
rarity in this
yeah.
world. Very nice
Well,
people.
they say yeah. Well, they say Virginia is for lovers, you know. So everybody goes to Virginia because of the
Yeah,
wilderness and they got all the seasons here, you know, as well as a lot of different the ocean and
yeah.
they got the Chicoteague Islands with the wild horses and different stuff. A lot of different things, fun things you can do, and obviously, um, you know, DC and Busch Gardens and stuff like that is not too far away from where I was. So got a lot of things to do for the families,
Sounds
as well
good.
as Jamestown, which is pretty historic. Jamestown, one of the first settlements in the United States, and a few other things. So I went from Boston history to Virginia history in Jamestown. It was over the last couple of weeks. It's kind of funny, but I wasn't able to catch John in Boston. He's actually from that area. So when he came down here to this area for an event and was able to catch him. So thank you. And if any of you if you ever hear of me being somewhere in the United States, I travel from time to time. So if any of you hear from me, let me know if I'm going your way. I know Howard and a few other people. And if you want me to take you out for coffee or lunch and see how you're doing in trading, please feel free to shoot me an email or tell me in the trading room. I'd be more than happy to meet with you.
Folks, the truth is that Aaron's always traveling and goes home to do laundry and then he's off on the next trip. So that's the truth. So anyway, trading room link, I believe, went out not too long ago. Is that true, Aaron?
Yeah, it's coming out right now. I'm working on it right now. There's a little bit of an issue for me to get through the website, but it's coming out right now.
Sounds good. All right, gang. So anybody who was new on, let me know. And thanks for the shout out on that one for the John and Dan and everybody who's new on. Welcome. This is what we do every Sunday night, 8 o'clock. We just sit. It's kind of like a fireside chat. That's what we call it, fireside chat. And we talk about a lot of different things. So don't be upset if we're not just talking about trading and teaching you how to make $1 million in a week or something like that. But this is kind of an introduction to trading week in review, Sunday, April the 7th, 2024. And that is actually supposed to be the eclipse here that you see on the side. I thought that would be kind of a cool thing. I don't know if you didn't pick it up or not, but I couldn't actually get a video of the eclipse. But that's coming up tomorrow here. And being in Western New York, where I am, excuse me, in the Niagara area, we're expecting like I don't know, 1 million people tomorrow. I doubt they're going to it's going to be that. I think people are going to realize, well, wait a second, I can view this from anywhere from, from from Detroit to Watertown, New York to Boston. Like it's going to be all over the place, right? So anyway, folks, there's a questions box. You'll find a little questions box icon on your Zoom dashboard. So please click on that. Aaron and I are the only ones that see that, so we'll go ahead and say whatever we want. We'll certainly try and address some of your questions a little bit later on. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you a question. What is your options trading experience? Punch up 1 if you're very experienced, 2 if you know something about options. You don't have to know everything, just a little bit. And 3 if you are new to options, don't know what options are, what are options, any of those things. So
that reminds me, Hugh, if I can say something, it reminds me of a joke somebody said earlier in the trading room. What does the moon use to cut its hair?
sorry, what's the question again? What is what?
I think it was what does the moon use to cut its hair?
What does the moon
And
use to cut his hair? Yes.
yeah, he uses an eclipse.
Uses an eclipse. Eclipse, yes, yes. Oh yeah. I think it was me that told you that joke, to be honest with you. But anyway, okay. We'll give you credit for
It's
it.
been
Yeah, we love you. We love you.
it's been a long day here.
It's been a long
It's been a
day.
long day.
All right, lots of twos coming in, lots of twos. 10 years, David S. I would put you at number 1. Lots of twos, ones, twos. Not a lot of threes here. No threes, no threes. Well, that's good. Well, it's not good. It's whatever. If there's any threes, option 3, buddy. Buddy, you're not option 3. I know you're just playing along here with me. Paul, see option 3. Okay. All right. So we'll split this up in a couple of ways. All right. So first of all, I'm going to give you the week in review, a bit of an introduction, week in review. And then after this segment, we'll get into an introduction to options trading, just a very brief overview primer of options, what they are, why we trade SPY, and and all that. So stick around. We'll do the main section first. This way, we're not going to bore all those people who are experienced and give them the whole, why options, why SPY options. So for those of you who are new on, stay until after that. Then, all right, join us in on that second segment. So, excuse me, I'm going to give you a second here to read this standard disclaimer. Yeah, I know lawyers have to eat too, apparently. So this is what they do. They come up with things like this, and I think you probably read it already. You know what it's all about. You are responsible for everything. We are responsible for nothing. That's always the way it is. Charts courtesy of Schwab, Thinkorswim, and also Tasty Trade. Excuse me. And past performance does not guarantee future results. All right, so there I am, currently at the beach house where I'm anticipating the amazing eclipse tomorrow. Got my glasses and everything else. And I don't know if I'm going to be looking at it. I understand. I was just looking at the weather here earlier, and it's supposed to be cloudy tomorrow all day. So we'll see if we'll see if we get this. I think it's just going to go dark for a few minutes. It's going to come back to light, and yeah, there's going to be a lot. But they're already talking about having some music on the beach where I am, and excuse me. Let me get a drink of water here. And I suggested they play Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album in its entirety. So they like that idea. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking that while you were saying it, Hugh. I was thinking it's probably going to be Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
But hopefully they won't be playing The Wizard of Oz and playing it backwards or something. I think it has something to do with playing that album backwards to The Wizard of Oz. It syncs up exactly.
Some secret message or something. All right. Meet your host. Well, my name is Hugh, and there's Aaron. So a little bit about myself. Excuse me. Come from corporate America. Took the long way round, and I'm back with corporate America. Hard to believe, but yeah. But that's okay. I love it. So I used to work for a salary, and used to hand off a lot of my salary to my financial advisor who was going to take care of me in my retirement. Didn't quite work out that way. By the time I realized how much he had lost, I was quite upset. I'd lost about half my capital. So I essentially told him to cut me a check for whatever's left. Obviously, I have to learn how to do this myself. I was quite comfortable with numbers and risk and different things, but so I set out to learn everything I possibly could. Took a lot of courses, everything else. But I can honestly say that most of what I really learned, the good stuff, I learned from the trenches, doing it myself and learning from the pain, no pain, no gain, right? And when I started learning a lot of stuff and realizing just how this all works, how it fits together, and bringing in the fundamentals and the technicals, and having a control on your emotions and all that wonderful stuff. That's when I started making some serious money in the market. And that's when people started to take notice. They said, "Hugh, you got to show us, you got to teach us." And it was back in 2010 when we started to have what was then the inner circle. And we started some training sessions and wrote some ebooks and videos and all kinds of stuff, over time, and did the trading room. And I'm proud to say we now have the longest running trading room that I know of. We're in our 14th year. Most traders don't last that long. So I think we're doing pretty good. Short-term breakouts, small daily gains. This is how you actually accumulate great wealth in your trading account. And I think we'll find we're the real deal now. Here's Aaron. You probably wonder, who is this guy? But to be clear, ladies, I am the good-looking one. Aaron is the smart one. So, are you really deep and you want a meaningful relationship? Go with Aaron. I'm just a shallow guy. So, Aaron, tell us about yourself.
Yes. Well, I started learning about trading when I was actually 14 years old in middle school. I opened up a Wall Street Journal and started looking through the pages of a Wall Street Journal and started looking at the stocks at the time. A lot of big names and the tickers and trying to figure out how everything was laid out. I knew that was something I wanted to get into. I just had a passion for it from a very young age. opened up my first stock account when I was 17. It was actually a custodial account and traded it in penny stocks for a while. Actually, when I first got started, because I was just, I worked, even back then, I worked, I don't know if I told you this, I worked since I was 14 years old, actually 12. I started working when I was 12. So I had some spending money, and I had 2 jobs when I was 17, and then I would put money in the stock market and, watch it go up and down and make some gains, and caught a few pump and dumps for my benefit. And then in the stock market crash of 2001, I decided to take a little bit of a break, along with a few other people, but I came back with a vengeance. In 2006, 2007, started learning about something called Forex. I studied the technicals. I had a couple of systems I learned from that are very similar to ones that we have in the trading room. But I took everything off, and I started to look at the patterns, and I analyzed the patterns very well, and started learning about the Andrews pitchfork, as well as the as well as the Fibonacci patterns. And I'm a self-taught market technician. I studied for and passed the Series 3 exam, and became a commodity broker for several different firms. And most recently, I was working for about $150 million commodity fund. And I studied a lot of books, a lot of courses, and then, just like you, I learned in the trenches, just by doing and by analyzing. And I currently, I'm a registered CTA as well, which is a commodity trading advisor, and of course, the market technician here with and trader here with DayTradeSPY. And I love working with you. It's been over a year and some change now, and I love every minute of it. And I love helping all of you wonderful subscribers here, as well as people that are interested in working with us.
Sounds good. All right. Okay. Let's move on. All right. Just a reminder, folks, an announcement here. If you're not already a subscriber to the free newsletter that comes out Thursdays, excuse me, it's called Spy on the Market. And it comes out every Thursday, usually in the morning before I even get out of bed. I have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and send. No, actually, I don't. It's all automated. It's very brief, kind of an entertaining, very light read. It's actually pretty good, but it's relevant. There's a lot of good stuff in this. You might want to take a look at it. Last week the topic was what to look for in a mentor, and I think this week it's going to be what to look for in a broker. And I know what you're thinking here. I just want the cheapest broker. I'm going with Robinhood because 0 commission. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be surprised. So get the newsletter, find out all these little tips, tricks, and traps that we give you in the newsletter, okay? Costs you nothing, and no, you're not going to get swamped with a million emails, nothing like that. Tonight's agenda, let me see, review of last week, preview of next week. Going to take a look at the 2 to 10K challenge, give you an update on that. Got my 2-minute tutorial ready for you folks, and then we're going to do a little Q&A and see what you guys want to talk about. All right, because I talk too much. I want you guys to come up with some ideas. So to be clear, all right, we're not going to get into the specifics on your particular trades that you had done last week or whatever, and and all that kind of stuff. That's left for the trading room. And I had a question actually earlier saying, where's that link where I can do the one-on-ones with you? Well, we don't do that anymore actually, because it just got too crazy, and it became a full-time job for us, and we didn't have the ability to actually reach out to as many people as we wanted to, because with the one-on-ones it was taking up all our time. So these questions are able to be answered in 3 ways. Number 1 is on the Sunday night sessions. If we can get to them, we will. Number 2 is if you are in the inner circle, we have our Tuesday night sessions, all right, at 8 o'clock. You can ask the questions there if you're a member of the inner circle. And 3, if you are in the trading room, that's where you can ask any questions that are pertinent in the trading room. And if you are an inner circle member or even a trading room member, I mean, if you fire off a quick email, and it's got to be quick, don't give us an essay or a big, novel or anything like that. And we don't want that. And but if it's any quick question, we can probably answer that. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of novels, Aaron, I'm a speed reader. I read War and Peace in about 3 seconds. You know that?
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm War and Peace. Yeah, maybe 2 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, what do we do? Well, look at this pretty lady here. She's all excited. Okay, we day trade options on SPY. Period. That's all we do. SPY. All SPY all the time. SPY is the stock that follows the top S&P 500. The top stocks, that's what we do. It's the highest traded stock out there. It's affordable. It's diverse. People ask me, oh, here, how come you don't diversify? Well, I can't think of a more diverse stock than SPY. Everything is covered. All the sectors are there. So everything is covered. It's actually an amazing stock. It's also extremely liquid, which is very important because when you get the liquidity, you want to be able to put as much as you can into this thing, as much as you want. You want to be filled instantly, and that's what happens with liquidity. I remember many years ago when I started. Now, by the way, I'm going to slip away to all these different anecdotes along the way. I hope not to bore you with them or anything, but these are little lessons I learned. I remember when I first started, I'd be looking at options on different stocks, and I would make some money on some of these things, and a lot of them I would lose money. I could never understand how did I lose money, and how is it that one day I'm making money, the next day on the same thing I'm losing money? And somebody said to me, "Well, do you look at the Greeks at all?" I said, "No, no, I don't look at that." "Oh, well, maybe you should," they said. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I should. And it's amazing the things that I discovered. And I thought to myself that, my gosh, the reason I was probably so fortunate in making money at all, like at all, is because I got lucky here. There's no way I've earned it, you know. But I would look at things like the bid-ask spread. A lot of these stocks had massive bid-ask spreads, 10, 20, 30 cents. There I am buying at the ask, and all of a sudden I'm down 30 cents just with the bid-ask spread, never mind making anything. And then when I look at the liquidity, well, there's no volume, so there's no liquidity. Maybe volatility is whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that, holy geez, how can I possibly make money at this? Which is probably why I lost a lot of money on stock. So, anyway, there's a lot of different, many, many, many different strategies to use. I'm not saying that our strategy is the one and only, but it's the one and only for me. So I'm not looking at anything else. And sometimes people tell me, "Hey, how about this strategy? How about that strategy?" Well, listen, here's what I say to them. If it works for you, awesome. It's not something I want to explore for the simple reason that it's kind of like comparing it to if you lose your car keys. You keep looking for your car keys until you find them, and then you stop looking for your car keys, right? So, I mean, it just kind of makes sense. And when I found SPY and I started making some serious money on SPY, and I felt like I came home. I could really understand SPY options, and it really, really made sense to me. It's like a missing piece in a puzzle, and there it is. Now I understand this. Anyway, huge, huge profit potential with SPY, and that's all we do. All right, and I love it because it's exciting trading. And here's the funny thing: I've never had a job or anything that I was at for so long, well, except maybe flying planes, but something like a job that I would be just as excited to get up every morning now as I was the first day. In fact, I'm more excited now because the more you understand, the more you learn, the more you know, the more opportunities there are for you to make some pretty good money on the stock market. Anyway, I find it's very exciting, keeps me young, and keeps me excited, keeps me having a reason to get up and teach people this. Aaron and I don't actually have to do this, by the way. We actually could just trade and make our living trading. But we enjoy teaching other people. There's nothing to me that's more satisfying than than being able to transfer this knowledge to somebody else, and then they in turn report back that they made so much money based on what we taught them. To me, that is such a high. It's an exciting thing, and it keeps me excited and it keeps me going. I remember a real quick story. I remember a long, long, long time ago, some lady out, I think she was in the Seattle area, contacted me. She says, "Hugh, I heard something about you. You can make people rich." I said, "Well, actually, I just teach people things, and you make yourself rich and stuff." She said, "Well, I'm a registered nurse. I got two daughters in high school, deadbeat dad. Nobody knows where he is. Y'all never get a penny out of him. I'm okay right now, but I don't know if I'm going to get the money for their college fund, their education." And I said, "Well, are you willing to learn and do what I tell you to do?" And she said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm totally in." And she took my course and learned, and we worked together, and then off she goes. And then sometime later, I don't even know what it was, she contacted me. "Hugh, can you give me a call?" And I do. She's in tears, tears of happiness. She said, "Hugh, I have the money now for the college education, both of them, like everything. I made enough money that I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can't thank you enough." And that is the reason Aaron and I get up every morning to do this. So anyway, folks, over the years, we kind of figured out what works and doesn't work in both trading and training. A lot of people can trade, but not that many can train. And then you get a lot of people who can train, but they have no clue about trading. And I don't know if you've been to any of these other courses or anything like that where they teach you things, but they don't work. You ever take a course? Aaron, you must have taken some courses. You take the DVD home or you plug this in or that program in and it's just not happening. You find yourself behind the eight ball or whatever that saying is in front of the eight
Yeah.
ball. Say, what the heck? I remember this one pro, I don't know what it was, but I had to get the special program and a special platform, and it would ding ding and ring and everything was set up. Oh, here's where you buy, here's where you sell. And this thing worked in the background. And even if I was on some other program like Word or Excel or something and hearing this noise going on and on in the background, it was so disruptive and it wasn't really working either. Like I was not making any money. In fact, I lost some pretty good money on that. So, oh, forget this thing. I can't remember what I paid for it. Here's a funny story. So several years ago, I was cleaning out the closets. I used to buy all this stuff, and uh, and a lot of it I didn't even open up. But I just oh well yeah. Or I call tech support, and you get somebody over, and I don't know somewhere Philippines or something doesn't speak English, and oh here we go. Anyway, a lot of these programs, I just wrapped it up and put it back in the closet. And then when I cleaned out my closet several years ago, my wife said, "Well, what are you throwing that out for? You paid $5,997 for that. Next one, you paid $3,989 for that." I said, "I'm so glad you remember right to the dollar, right to the penny, how much I paid for every single one." Thanks for reminding me. My wife, I love her so much, but I gotta tell you, she got this random access memory that she'll pull anything out of the air. Well, 2006, January the 23rd. This is what you said. What? Where do they get that ability to do that?
Hey, I don't know. I was asking myself that very same question this weekend. I had a few conversations with my wife as well about different things where, you know, where I was just trying to have a wonderful, fun-filled family vacation, and there's a couple of tidbits I don't remember off the top of my head, but it happens a lot with me as well. But she's actually pretty happy now. Going on vacation and whatnot. So.
Yeah. Aaron, your wife's not listening right now. She's not listening right now.
Oh no, she actually went in to get our daughter some shoes and a toy over here at the store. So
Okay, can we have like this 1 minute story from you about? I love this story. This is actually really 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 funny about when you came back from Paris and then
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. I can't
Uh,
even say this with a straight face. It's actually so funny. So I'll let you say. I'll let you
oh,
explain.
which story was that? When I came back from
The
Iceland and Paris, uh,
the cup
there's a
holder.
few stories.
The cup holder.
Uh, oh my gosh, I don't know if you should tell that story. That's not G-rated. So just a caveat. This is not a G-rated story. So what happened was oh my gosh. Yeah, so what happened was we stayed in an Airbnb in France, like a super posh, upscale Airbnb in France, and France being like the town of love and everything, and we were looking over it must have been like a 15th century like aqueduct or something, and we saw all the I think it's called Champs-Élysées, the famous street there that they actually have a replica of that in Boston I just saw last week. But anyways, I'll try to keep on pace here. So we had a wonderful time. We were in Iceland for 3 days, and I believe France for 4 days. And so we did some laundry towards the end of leaving, right? And what happened was is we packed everything up, and then we're on our way home. And we got back home, and flew to Iceland, flew back home, and then we had some of the luggage. My son was looking. We had some of the luggage in the car, and my son was looking for his soccer outfit. For some reason, he opened up one of the suitcases, like one of the small carry-on suitcases that we had, and it was so funny because somebody from the Airbnb. Well, we saw one pair of Joe Boxer boxers, right, in the dryer. Somebody, there was one pair of men's underwear, and then that we saw, right. But my son inadvertently dropped like a female's pair of underwear that was in the that was in the suitcase. For some reason, it got mixed in with our stuff, and it wasn't any of ours, like my mom's or my wife's, and it dropped on the floor of our minivan. And because he was looking for a soccer uniform, and I was like, why did you go through a suitcase? It would be in your soccer bag. And I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, and then because I got a whole bunch of kids, they make a mess of our van. We have to deep clean it like once a month. So my wife, she looks in, and she sees like this one thing out of all the stuff in my van. She sees a woman's pair of underwear on the floor of my minivan, and it's from the Airbnb, right? She and then she looks at me and she's like, "Aaron, whose underwear is this?" So it's like that one in a million thing that happened, right? So what happened was it was in the cup holder of the minivan. So one of my sons saw it on the ground, right, and then put it in the cup holder of the minivan, and she was looking inside the cup holder, and she's like, "What the heck is this?" So it was a Calvin Klein designer female underwear. And she looks at me, and I thought she was going to kill me, and I just couldn't stop laughing because I'm the guy that has the one in a million, but it's like these weird things, that happened to me. And so I had to hear about that, and had to hear about, all these possibilities, because she's one of these people that come up with like these awkward possibilities out of like the ether in the universe. Like, were you making out with somebody in the minivan? Were you all this stuff? And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, this is obviously not mine. I obviously not yours. I would never do that in 1,000 years. And on top of that, like, it's just crazy bad luck. It's like the me getting cut with a burrito, tinfoil. I was sucked into a jacuzzi when I was 4. Like, just all these weird stuff that happens to me throughout my whole life. And this is just another one of those one in a million things that have happened to me, if you guys know me. So just to make a long story short, she hated me and I had to hear about the French, Airbnb underwear for about 2 weeks. So
the answer to that is very simple. Say, listen, if I was making out with somebody in the van, like, do you really think I'd be that stupid to leave the underwear there? Are you kidding me? Oh, give me some credit. I'm offended that anyway, let's move on. That's crazy. So, folks, have you noticed a pattern here with Aaron? Let's see, he goes to Paris, right, for lovers, and goes to Virginia, for lovers, and I guess Aaron must be a real loving kind of a guy or something. I don't know, but all right, what
I'm
happened?
doing my best, and I love all of our subscribers, so I'm doing my best, right?
Lots of love to go around. All right. Manufacturing PMI numbers came out on Monday. They were hotter than expected. Economic expansion means stock market contraction. The stocks dropped a couple of points in there. Several points just ran up a little bit before the end of the day. I don't spend a lot of time as to what happened as much as what's going to happen, okay? Because, history is history. And if you worry about history, you're going to, what is it? What's that saying? It's just creating, I forgot what the saying is. History is depression. You get depressed if you worry about history, right? And in the future, if you're worried about the future so much, then it's creating anxiety or something. But if you're in the present, then you're at peace. And I heard something about that today. So. On Tuesday, we had several hawkish Fed members speaking. Well, they were talking about things like, well, I don't know, I still want to see some more data before we start cutting rates and, the data points. Well, we lost several points there on Tuesday. So we're kind of in a downward trend here. I think we went down about 3 or 4 days before we started to come back up. Wednesday, we had unemployment numbers and more services, an expansive services PMI that was lower than forecast. But Fed Chair Powell spoke and he put a damper on interest rate cut expectations as well. And so his speeches matter. They are going to move the markets. And then on Thursday, we had some good unemployment claims pushed SPY higher in pre-market. But again, actually, I think we had 3 or 4 Fed members, hawkish members, reiterating the hesitancy in cutting rates. I think one member even said, "Oh, I don't know if I even want to cut rates. Maybe one later something." So they really, really moved things down. And then I think oil numbers came out or something. There's some expensive. I think the price of oil went up, and that also proved to be inflationary because at least people were worried about inflation, and that dropped the market something like 11 points. Now I'm going to tell you, when the market goes down like that, I actually get very excited because because usually the next day the market tends to go up, and that's exactly what happened. We had some technical indicators. There it is right there. Oil threatened inflation, knocked SPY down 11 points after trading. But on Friday, we had some really good technical support that SPY was bouncing off of. And that brought SPY up after that knee-jerk reaction on Thursday and eliminated much of the drop from the day before. It didn't get quite up to where it was before, but it's heading higher. So we made some pretty good money on Friday on that. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
So,
If I could mention something, Hugh, I read an interesting article from, I believe, Mary, if you're on, or whoever sent me, about celestial, events and trading. We talk a little bit about that. I'm not entirely well versed in that, so I don't share with you a lot of what I've been exposed to yet. But she sent me some information saying that some of that sell-off might be some of the astro financial traders, taking some profits. So be aware that the solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow will definitely affect the market a bit. So I just wanted to say that with a caveat. I know, Hugh, you might think that's, some hocus pocus or whatever, but it does actually affect the markets a lot, the celestial, especially the lunar events. Just want to put that out there.
okay, yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured that out what the relationship is there, but there could be, right? I'm not discounting it or anything like that. So we like to combine a lot of different factors we look at a lot of different things to determine market direction and strength, and these are how we come up with our numbers. But this here is a seasonal chart that I'm showing you. That blue line is where SPY is now, and that red line is a composite of the last 5 years closing prices on the daily chart. Okay, so if we go back into where's it right here? Okay, so you're going to just bring that down and focus in on that. Looking at the last week, we actually gained about a point in last week's trading. And seasonally, again, this is a seasonal thing, we had gained about 6 points the following week. Now, there's no guarantee that, SPY is going to follow what it did last week, but their last 5 years. But if it's any consolation and you're looking to the upside, that's probably a good way of going. I don't know. So we'll see what happens on that. So what happened? Well, we got off to a shaky start in the week here, and the start to the quarter with strong economic data, raising concerns over when the Feds will start cutting rates. And again, they were pretty hesitant on committing to anything on that one. Labor market still very good shape. Still some job growth better than expected. Low unemployment and healthy, but moderating wage gains. And despite nervousness around the timing and magnitude of interest rate cuts, markets are still showing support for a bull market. So this means that the Feds are not really pushing to cut rates yet. They're saying things are fine. We don't need to stimulate the economy yet. Here's what happened last week. We did have a little bit of a negative move here. NASDAQ fell about a point. NASDAQ fell 0.8%. Dow dropped 2.3%. But the year to date is still very healthy. Year to date, here it is, end of March, early April. The S&P is up 9.1%. I mean, think about that. That means that the S&P, if this continues on for a year, we're gonna see what, about a 36% rise from the beginning of the year. I mean, that's excellent, right? 8.2% for the Nasdaq and 3.2% for the Dow. That's all really, really pretty good. So coming up in the week ahead, here's what we have for news: low news or no news on Monday and Tuesday. We're talking about high impact news. On Wednesday, things are changing here. We got CPI reports, Consumer Price Index, FOMC meeting minutes. This is where they release them. Now, the the decisions have already been made with the feds, but this is where they delve into the details. They're going to be releasing this and discussing this. And we also have hawkish Fed member Michelle Bowman. She speaks on Wednesday as well. On Thursday, we have the producer price index and unemployment claims, and then a couple reports on Friday with consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So what this means, translation, watch for volatility, low on Monday and Tuesday, elevated on Wednesday and Thursday, and probably a little bit more moderate on Friday. So I expect lower returns possibly early in the week. Maybe it'll be more active midweek and then probably settled in a little bit lower on Friday. And of course, if there's any unexpected news items to come out, well, we'll see what happens there, but we'll see what happens. Excuse me. Folks, we've got many opportunities every day. We show you how to spot them and how to make money on them, how to trade them. Now, they don't always turn into profitable trades. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody ever tells you that they always make money, that they never, ever, ever lose, they are lying to you. Run for the hills. All right. One thing we pride ourselves on is that we are actually straight shooters. We're honest. We will tell you. Several days ago, a few days ago, April the 3rd, I got in a bad position here, and I closed out this trade on Monday for $1,584 loss. Let me see if I can put this drawing. I've discovered this drawing thing here, right in here. And I thought, okay, it's time to regroup. I've been just suffering some really bad losses lately. Not really sure. I think it's an aggressive thing. But the next day, picked up $110 and $150 the next day. And there's some aggressive moves. We are currently down about $1,700 to where we should be. All right, to where we should be. So we're going to see if we can bring that up. All right, I'd like to end April on a positive note, but we're going to continue working on that, and we're going to see what we have at the end of April on that. But we've had the first two runs from the 2 to 10K challenge. We hit our target a couple of days before our target date, but this one looks like it's a real challenge, and that's why they call it a challenge. But there are a lot of people who are doing very, very well. Some people doing better than us. In fact, a lot of these losses that I experienced, a lot of people did not have those losses. They took some profits. I was aggressive on some of these, and it turns out I'm paying the price on this. There are rules with this, starting with $2,000, only trading the profits as they settle. There's no room here for repairing trades gone bad. We're only using a cash account, so the pattern day trade rules do not apply. We buy first, then sell, calls and puts using our standard setups. There are no, we're not using any spreads, no naked selling or buying, nothing like that. And we track it on the spreadsheet. And we report the results in the inner circle follow-up. People say, well, can you set up the results? Well, we do. It's in the inner circle. And you know what? Follow the inner circle if you want to get these results on a day-to-day basis. Okay. We record the gains, losses, net of commissions. Commissions being $1 a contract, which is what you would see if you had Tasty Trade. That's what we pay. Actually, that is up to a maximum of $10, but I don't even do that. If I traded 20 contracts, I will take $20 for the commission. The goal was $10,000, still is. We're going to see where we end up at the end of April. Okay, so if we end up with 8,000 or 6,000 or 15,000, it is what it is at the end of April. And these are executed in our live daily trading room sessions. Okay, so we did have a little bit of a setback, but we're coming back and we're going to be fine. Like I said, might not get to the 10,000, but we'll be on the plus side. All right, so I've got a question for you if you don't mind replying in the questions box, folks. please tell me, would you like to make, just put a yes, yeah, why or whatever. Would you like to make $100,000 in a year trading options on SPY? That's one question. Another question, do you have $3,000 with which to trade? And a third question, would you like this work to be done by 10 a.m. in the morning? And if so, I'm curious because if so, then I'll continue with the rest of this segment. If you're not interested, then, oh my gosh, okay. Lots of yeses there. Okay, so you guys and gals, and by the way, Coralie, thank you so much for the compliment on my dog. She loves my dog. I love her too. Actually, I really love her. We got her a harness because she's got difficulty walking upstairs now. Was she 12 years old? 12 years old. And Bernice mom dog. They're only supposed to live 6 to 8 years, but we got another few years out of her. But her hind legs are going, so we got this harness, and she's getting used to this. You pick her up and help her up the stairs. Oh man, the things I do for this girl dog. I love her so much. I used to threaten to eat her. She's just so beautiful. Okay, lots of yeses. Okay, good to see that. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I do, and a lot more. I make a lot more, but I'm going to tell you, it's not that difficult. Let me explain something to you. Let me just check first to see. I'm actually looking for to see if somebody's online here first. Ta-da, bear with me. Aaron, you know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. Let me go to the thing here. Okay, where's his name? I need to see if a person that I'm looking for a particular person online. And if this person is online, then we're going to skip to the next segment. If okay, all right, he is not there. Right, one more section. I want to check his last name. Okay. Nope, doesn't look like he's on. All right, cool. All right. Okay, so see, I'm not supposed to trade. I'm actually not supposed to trade. My doctor's orders. Doctor said, you got high blood pressure. You have to promise you're not going to trade. Okay, I promise. Because trading is not good for you, and I don't want you getting a stroke or heart attack like that, or stressed out or something. I said, you don't understand. I said, no, no, you don't understand. I want you to stop trading. Okay, fine. Promise, promise. But so I don't, what do you want to call it? Actively trade. But I do sometimes throw some money in, for fun. So I'm not going to tell you how much money I traded here, but this is my trade on Friday. I did two quick trades on Friday just for fun. These are fun trades. And again, I don't want to put how many contracts because I don't want to, make anybody feel uneasy or anything like that. But just to show you how this works. I got in at 9:34 in the morning. I bought these 515 calls for $1.53, and I sold them 9 minutes later for $1.75. That's 22 cents or 14.3%. Then I jumped back into the 516 calls at 9:48, out at 9:56, which is 8 minutes. And I picked up another 23 cents on these calls for another 16.5%. Okay. Now, to be clear, if you're trading 100 contracts on this, you're making some pretty serious money. Okay. Yes, you're going with 22,000. Oh, no, you're going in with $15,000 or $17,000 or whatever. But let's just say, as an example, that had this only been 10 contracts on each trade, that's all you're trading, 10 contracts. Trade number one, you'd have invested, you had a $220 gain, total invested $1,530. On 10 contracts, you'd have put in $1,530 plus a couple bucks for commissions, okay? But you would have made $220. Trade number two, you'd have invested $1,390 and you would have walked away with $230 profit if you had only 10 contracts. That works out to less than $3,000. Less than $3,000. As a matter of fact, that would be $2,920 invested. And look, I was done by 9:56. Now, if you extrapolate this over the course of 50 weeks, not even 52 weeks, but over 50 weeks, at this rate, 10 contracts doing this kind of numbers, you've got $12,500 over 50 weeks. Now, how cool is that? And that is how, right? That's how you can make, over 100K a year, done by 10 o'clock, trading no more than $3,000 on two little trades. And I think that is a really cool way of doing it. I think the average salary in the US is just a little over 50,000 or something. You're basically making something like double the average US salary here. Uh, and you're done before corporate America takes its first coffee break. So I think that's a
Yeah.
really good way of doing it.
And
So
not just mention that is that, 90% of, I think it's some high number like that, maybe 70% of something, people live paycheck to paycheck.
yeah,
So if you're able to make this, we have some of our subscribers that are on the West Coast, or Mountain Time, and they trade with us before they even go to work, and they do quite well. So I
yeah.
just wanted to mention that.
Or they go back to bed. They get up like early, right? Because there's a 3 hour difference. They're up at like 6:30 in the morning. They trade, they're in. They made their $1,000, go back to bed, done for the day, and have oh man. I mean, it's just so cool. So that's how you do it. All right, it's time for our oh my gosh, time is running out here. 2 minute tutorial. I like doing this here. Started this a couple weeks ago, and it's been very, very popular. People are asking for it now. Here's a question. Is there any chart pattern that has a higher propensity for profit than others that you like? And the answer is yes. Yes, there is. So, okay. So now what do you want to talk about, Aaron? Well, actually, I'll tell you what it is. This is my preferred. This is my, we're going to be on extended time, right? We're going to be a little extended, but I'll tell you, I'm going to take a short break at about 11 o'clock. All right. But I just that too. We're going to be done here in a little bit. Folks, my preferred chart pattern is this I call the cup and handle. I don't know why, but it just seems to work extremely well for me. And I'm going to see if I can just kind of maybe draw this out. So here, let me see if this works. There's your cup, right? There's your cup, and then there's your handle. The handle usually will go down to some level of support. And I'm going to just draw this line across here. There's your support. Catches support. 515.50 is also a strike price, which is often a support resistance level. Okay. So I have at least two things working here. I may also have some exponential moving averages. I also have some pivot points. Excuse me. Aaron may also have some pitchfork lines or Fibonacci lines, but
Yeah,
I
I believe that was a 382 Fibonacci retracement double bottom with heavy volume. So yeah, that was a good move. It's also called the to the moon Alice pattern.
the moon what? Moon Alice. Oh yeah, to the
To the
moon,
moon.
Alice. To the moon, Alice. There you go. Jackie Gleason, remember that?
Yeah,
Folks, you not make money on options, say on the 516 call options, when it goes up like this. Here it is, ran up 2 points. Oh my gosh, lots of money to be made there. And this setup happens whenever this happens. I got to tell you, it's my, they call it cup and handle. I call it money in the bank trade. This is my money in the bank setup. And when you have your EMAs underneath and all these other things giving you that support right around here, I'm telling you right now, to the moon, Alice. And that's exactly it. I don't want to say it's a guaranteed success, but I think it's safe to say it's almost a guarantee. We have to keep ourselves clean as far as the words that we use. So I'm going to say almost a guaranteed success on the stock market. I
sure
discovered,
thing.
it is. So there you go. There you go. There's your 2 minute tutorial. I think we talked 2 minutes. Yes, we have. Maybe even three. All right.
Well, Hugh, I wanted to let you know I sent you a couple pictures in your email if you want to pull them up now or a little bit later.
Okay, let me take a look here. All right, let's get to some questions while I'm trying to get these here. And okay, some
Sorry,
pictures.
it's your Hugh email.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let me just take a look here. I'm just pulling it up. Okay, this is Aaron. Okay. Aaron, what's with the panties? You sending me these panties? Ah, man, I don't want those. I can't show those. Okay, here, I'm going to show you a picture of Aaron. Okay, I need to do something here. This came by surprise here. New slide, and I'm going to put Aaron's picture right in here. There he is right there. And hang on a second. I got to clear off some of this other garbage that they give you on these PowerPoint slides. And there you go. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to cut this one off, cut this here. Okay, so this is a picture of Aaron. Where'd it go? Here you go. And
Yep.
we
That was
always
me 2 weeks.
2 weeks
Yep.
ago.
Yeah. Standing in front of the bull on Wall Street. Yeah, so we took a picture in front of Wall Street, and then I have one of my daughter, but obviously I didn't want to put that out there. But she's hanging on the arm of the little girl that was standing in front of the bull. They actually moved the. There was a big problem. There was the girl was in front of the. They had a bronze girl in front of the bull, so they actually moved her to standing in front of looking optimistic in front of the actual Wall Street New York Stock Exchange entrance. So that was me. And then there's me with my pitchfork. Actually, no, that's a wonderful statue in Virginia Beach. It's called Neptune. But that's if anybody of you knows, I trade the Andrews pitchfork, so I'm very in tune, if you could say so, with Neptune. So
Oh, that's funny.
or Poseidon or Titan. They're all very related in as far as mythology goes.
Okay. So that girl in on Wall Street, the one that's kind of angry at Wall Street, the one that's giving them all hell, is she gone now?
Yeah.
Moved her. Oh.
Oh no, they moved her from the bull because that was that when the market was going down, she was installed in front of the bull to try to get the bull to wake up.
Yes.
And now she's gazed optimistically now at the entrance of Wall Street, because there was a little bit of a commotion or whatever about her being right in front of another artist's artwork.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a different artist that did that, or maybe has to do something with why is the woman in front of the bull, kind of things. But it was so funny because there was more. Okay, how can I say this G-rated? There was more people more people in line behind the bull to touch something of the bulls for good luck than there
It's
were
good
people
luck,
in
yes.
front of them.
That's good luck. Yes, that's supposed to be good luck. Oh man, unbelievable.
So the line in front of the bull was like, a third of the line. The line behind the bull was going like, at least, 50 deep. There was like, 15 people in line to actually take a picture in front of the bull, like me. So I had the much shorter line. So I was like, well, I don't want to show anybody a day trade spy, a picture of me behind the bull. Of course, I want to be in front of the bull.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, let me get to some of these questions here. There's a lot of questions, and I know there's a couple here that somebody said, "Can you answer this one?" Somebody asked a question. I'm trying to see where that is. I think it's what you do with. Okay, so I can never find it now. Aaron, do you have any questions here you can pull out here?
Sure. There was a couple of questions regarding how to deal with call options when price goes against you. I'm not really sure if you want to get into that, or how do you manage trades when and if you use a stop loss or not. There was a big question about that because it was kind of some whippy price action this week, back and forth, gapping up, gapping down. It was kind of like the market didn't really necessarily know what to do.
Yeah. So, okay, so that and in relation, so some people are getting caught. Okay, so to be clear, we give you the entry points. We look at what we're looking to get, and we get what we usually get what we get, but sometimes the market turns against us and we have to do something. Now, I don't particularly like stop losses because they've never really worked well for me. Maybe Aaron does, but I use a different way. I will sometimes repair a trade gone bad, or I will simply cut my losses at a certain point. When it gets down to about a 40 to 50% loss, then I will look and see, well, okay, why did it go down? If it was a news-driven item like we had on Thursday when the market collapsed, I'm not going to panic on that if I have a week or a week and a little bit to come back because I'm pretty confident that the market's going to reverse. In fact, oftentimes when that reverse happens, I will go in and buy more contracts, bring my average cost down, and then it usually, I will get my profit or break even, or sometimes if I'm really feeling overly confident with this thing that I know it's going to go back up there, I'll make out like a bandit on these calls. So I look to see. So when we give you trades, these are high probability trades. They're not just something pulled out of the air and flip a coin or something. That's not it at all. So there's a lot that goes into this. We look at the fundamentals, we look at the technicals, look at the psychology, we look at everything. We look at the news, we look at everything. So that's kind of what we do there. We don't have a standard solution like selling at the end of the day or selling when it hits I mean, if you want to lose money, then sell for a loss. But why would you sell for a loss, why would you sell then when it's going to be a loss? I had some people sell and they bailed out on Thursday. They had some losses. I'm sorry, but I think those people that asked me, what are you going to do? Because I got several emails on that. I just quickly fired off a question. They expire a week from now, week and a little bit from now. I'm not worried. I think the market's going to find some support, go back up. This is a news item. So a couple things. We have lots of time, and being a news item, the market has a short-term memory for news and a long-term memory for support and resistance. First thing I did Friday, I said, Aaron, give me your support and resistance numbers right now. Where are they? And Aaron, you came out some very strong, and we saw it. We saw it in the pre-market. This thing's going up, and then we saw it starting to climb on Friday, and that's when I thought, okay, this is going to go up, and I'm gonna do very well in these calls, and I did. So I mean, there are
Yeah,
ways. Yes, I am going to
and
refer to
there,
the trading room because that's where the action happens. That's where you're going to learn all this stuff.
yeah. If I can add something too, I usually don't like to toot my own horn, but we did call a very heavy resistance at the 523.75. I think was it Thursday or Wednesday before the drop, and the market got, maybe the high was 523.86 before it fell off a cliff. I think it was Wednesday. And some people attribute that to some fear that's entering the market. Other people are saying the solar eclipse. Other people are saying maybe some algorithms or something. But we give these levels out. That's part of the value that you get in the trading room, is that we give some heavy support and heavy resistance levels that you can use to your advantage if you decide to trade. If I can mention Tom, I was having dinner with him, and he said he was, if I can mention, if Tom doesn't mind, he was in puts. I believe it was Thursday or Friday, right at the open, because I was saying the market could go down a little bit, but we are possibly at a support area on an Andrews pitchfork. Two corresponding Andrews pitchforks going against each other form something called an energy point, and an energy point formed like a magnet. Price hit that and bounced off of it like a pinball in a pinball game, And you were right. I was a little bit concerned. Well, actually, I was a lot concerned for the downside, because I said if this breaks to the downside, we're going to have a problem. So, but the price reversed and price went right up. It was funny how that worked, and you were spot on, Hugh.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. So the question here, why do support and resistance levels work? Is everyone in the market looking at the same charts and thinking the same way? Is it psychological? Is it a peculiar behavior? So support and resistance levels work very much like that, where if everybody is looking and reacting and acting on basically the same levels, and it doesn't even have to be right to the penny, it could be within a few cents of it. So they are prepared and knowing that, okay, it's going to come down, catch support, go back up. So if everybody's doing that, they are creating that support and resistance, right? They are by their very action, they're creating it. Support is that level that the buyers are going to come in and start buying up because that's a nice price that they see, and it's related to where it was before. If they see that a lot of buyers came at that level, they know the support. They are prepared to start buying in when it hits that level. The converse is true for resistance. When it hits a certain level at the high end, then traders are ready to take their profits and they start selling. Well, that sell-off is what creates the move back to the downside, and therefore that is resistance. So when people see that line up there, they say, okay, when it hits that point, I'm going to sell. In the trading room, that's what we do too. That's what I did on Friday. I think I said, well, I'm going to run this up to the pivot point, and I'm going to sell it. I don't know if it's going to pass through the pivot point or bounce off, but I know that there's going to be some bounce around that pivot point. As it turned out, I think on Friday it actually blasted through it pretty good, but I didn't know it was going to blast through, but I was prepared for a move back to the downside, so I took my profits. So you get a lot of activity right around those support and resistance levels. So those are usually horizontal lines. They could also be exponential moving averages. They could be pivot points. They could be strike prices. They could be Fibonacci, pitchfork lines. So there's a lot of different support and resistance levels. And when you combine them, so let's say I've got three or four, uh, you know, indicators that are identifying a support level, then I'm getting three or four times the strength of that support. It's almost 100% sure that the market's going to go back up when it hits that, when I've got two or three or four reasons to find support. So that's why I think it's a good deal. So I want to kind of get into this next year. Some of the programs, 'cause I know we got questions. Well, what programs do you have? You just keep talking about stuff, but um, thanks for that.
There were some questions actually. If I can say, if you want to show people how to find the actual course that we have online, there's a few questions. I think Bob just became a Day Trade Spy Society member, and there was another question about where exactly is the course on the website that they can access.
Okay, let's go to that. All right, so I'm going to pull up the website here, Day Trade Spy, and here it is right here. Okay, it is right there. All right, so go to the website, daytradespy.com, and up at the top, we've got this thing called the Ultimate Trading Workshop. And I understand, I know they were talking about getting onto this and changing the price. I don't know if they've done this yet or not. Let's see if it's still the same old price. I'm guessing it might still be, and I don't see any changes. This is actually an expensive course. Well, it's not expensive, believe me, it's not. But it was $3,500 before Eagle took us over. Look at this. They still have that special price. Can you believe it, Aaron? Okay, that's fine. Guys, don't wait. Get this for $9.95. You're gonna get 11 hour and a half long uh, webinars, workshops that talk about everything, intro to trading, money management, building confidence, mental aspects of trading. This stuff is priceless. Any one of these programs is worth the $9.95. Knowing what I know, I would gladly pay twice the $9.95 for any one of these. How much, knowing how to repair a trade, how much would that be worth to you? You know how easy it is to lose $1,000 or $2,000. If you knew Aaron's 3 + 3 equals 1 + 1 = 3 strategy, you'd say, oh my gosh, seriously? Where were you? Where were you all my life? How about this pitchfork? How about these support and resistance lines, chart patterns? I just showed you a cool chart pattern. Man, you guys got some real value out of this session already in a 2-minute webinar, a 2-minute segment that, and by the way, we've got other chart patterns and stuff. Anyway, go to this website here, Day Trade Spy, up at the top, right? Go to the course here where it says Ultimate Training Workshop. That's where you're going to find it. Going to get into this real quick. Okay, we've got the inner circle. You get your morning market analysis, comes out just after 9 o'clock. Get a follow-up report later in the day, including everything we traded in the trading room. And the cost here is $275 a quarter, $995 a year. And this is actually a really, I mean, they're all good deals. These are all excellent, excellent deals. I can't begin to tell you. All right, let me just go back. What happened to something here? Draw. I like to draw these things in here. Okay, where did it go? Right here. these prices here, $9.95 a year or $275 a quarter. Okay, there it is right there. All right. And you're going to get our Tuesday night interactive webinars as well. These are meetups. You can talk about anything you want, ask whatever questions. You don't get your questions answered here in the training room, bring it to the Tuesday night session. Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is actually the first thing we started back in May of 2010. May of 2010. And it's been going ever since. I don't know of any other program that's gone this far. Then there's the DayTradeSPY Signal. People often ask, well, what's the difference between that and the pick of the day? This is for fast trading. If you want to get really fast trades in, this is what you buy. These are immediate trades. As soon as you get the signal that is going to be sent to your email and your cell phone, stop what you're doing, get on your platform and buy the option right then and there. Immediately put it up for sale for a 5% gain. By the way, if it's going way past the 5%, write it up. A lot of people writing up their gains. They're not stopping at 5%. But you're looking for a 5% gain. Now, if you don't get the 5% that day, you're going to sell it by 4 p.m. at market close. This has been working extremely well too. You get a 14-day, 100% money back guarantee if you're not happy. I can't give you a better deal than that. That is amazing. All right. For only $14.95 a year, $3.99 a quarter. Not going to miss that. Then we have the pick of the day. This started years ago where we actually send you a particular pick in the morning before 9:30 opening bell, and you buy this at the opening bell. This is anchored in time. What we're saying is that some point in time today, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe the next day, the stock is going to go in your direction to deliver you 6%. As soon as you buy it, put up for sale for 6% profit target, walk away, come back later, and the money's generally speaking in your account. It too has been working extremely well. I think both the pick and the signal are well over 90% right now in the last little while. 30-day money back guarantee. You're not going to go wrong on the pick of the day. All these are available on the DayTradeSPY website. I love the trading room. We keep talking about the trading room. It's because it works. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you're going to have real time, real training, real markets, real money, real everything. These are interactive, learn and earn, fully narrated. This is where our strategies come alive. So in saying the trading room, in the Inner Circle, when you get the email that goes out to you, that's a flash assessment of the way we see the market unfold later in the day. The trading room would be like a live streaming video. So it's completely different, and it's only really $6.99 a quarter. Those people that are in the trading room for a long time, they are excellent traders, and this is the best value. And then, of course, we have the Ultimate Training Workshop that I just told you about, 11 recorded sessions, each an hour and a half, and this special price, you know what? Seriously, grab it. The IT guys have not yet changed the price. I know they're talking about it. I think it's on their list. I think it's on their agenda. What happened was months ago when we actually had this program, they had a 2-week special at this $9.95. That's what it was. 2 weeks, then it goes back to the regular price. But they kind of forgot about it, and we keep talking about it. And as long as it's on the website, why not buy it, right? I don't think they're going to say no. Now they might if they say, oh, that's no longer valid. But I think if you jump in right away as soon as you can and get this for $9.95, I think you're going to get it for $9.95. You're going to have access to these programs for at least 6 months, which is amazing because you can actually pause, fast forward, rewind as much as you want. Learn and earn. We teach what we trade what we teach. You're going to learn every single thing that we do, everything we do. 11 sessions right there. So that's what that's all about. Online workshops, we got these other workshops in there. Check it all out. It's all online. And I think there's still $249 each. Yeah, go in and take a look at some of these. You can buy them individually. I always say invest in yourself first, then the stock market. Don't go jumping into the stock market because you will lose your money. That I can guarantee. If you do not know what you're doing trading, you will lose your money. All right. What other questions? Any other questions before we wrap it up, Aaron? I don't know what's getting on here. Oh my gosh, 9:14 already.
Let me see one quick second. There was a question about the order to go, if he's still on, the order to go in the ultimate training course. Should you go through them each one in order? Me personally, I would say yes. I think you should go with them through them in the order that they're laid out, because they kind of build on each other, and they kind of segue to each other. This is recorded through it. It took almost an entire week for us to go through and to record and to plan. Well, to plan it took obviously a lot more than that. So I would say go through each one as they're laid out.
Yeah. And something else on that. Okay, so a lot of you are going to know already a lot of the stuff that we talk about. So please don't just dismiss it that, oh, I know all this. Yeah, I know. Because there are going to be a lot of little nuances that we throw in there. A lot of little things that you might not think are important, but they're vital. Something as simple and something as simple as that attitude. And I can usually tell when I talk to people whether they're going to be successful or not, because they come in with an attitude. I don't even want to deal with you. If you come in with an attitude, I will just flat out close you down and say, sorry, I'm not interested in having you as a client. The reason is because you will lose your money. The market is an incredibly humbling tool. It will humble anybody very quickly, and using your own emotions against you. So, as an example, I'm going to tell you when I discovered that the enemy in the stock market is actually not the market at all. That's just the arena that we play this game in. We just happen to be doing stocks, The real challenge comes, and the real enemy is that person in the mirror, because it is that person's fear, that person's greed. To me, greed was a big one, still is. That person's ego. All of these play an important. A friend of mine, I don't want to say her name, but she might be on. Her boyfriend was a doctor, specialist. I don't want to identify that either because very well noted doctor, but he made a lot of money, but he also traded just for fun on the side. And I remember the one time my female friend, she was so mad, and I saw her in the morning. Said, "Oh my, what happened to you?" Actually, I asked her, "Who peed in your cornflakes?" She goes, "Oh," and she's telling my boyfriend made I forgot $25,000 on gold or something or whatever he made out, or 5,000 or whatever it was on gold. And she was so mad. She says, "I'm the trader in this couple. What is he doing trading? I'm not the doctor. He's the doctor. I should be the trader. He should stay out of the market." I said, "Wait a second. Aren't you happy for him? Aren't you excited and happy?" "Oh, yeah, sure." And just out of spite, she went out and bought all these stupid gold warrants or whatever. I don't know what they are, but long story short, she ended up losing about $20,000 or whatever it was in this transaction, just to prove to him that she's the trader. I said to her after when this all happened, I said, "Well, was it worth it? Really?" Anyway, ego's a big one. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. YOLO, you only live once. All these emotions. And when you recognize that person in the mirror is the enemy, and when you get these emotions under control, it's amazing how instantly your fortune all of a sudden improves. So I think with this, I am ready to call it, at least for the first part, let's call it a little early here, and because we're going to stick around for the options primer, because I know some people are they've never sort of dealt with options. I kind of want to give you an options primer. So with this, I'm going to call it a night. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Aaron. Stick around if you want the options primer. We'll spend a few minutes on that. Been a pleasure. Thank you, Aaron.
Be great at what you do. Give it all of you. And trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You can have it if you dream it. Just be brave and you'll achieve it all. It all. I wanna know if you really want it, and if you do, then just shout it loud and clear. I wanna know if you really need it, and if you do, then just shout it loud and clear.
right, segment number 2, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to options, then welcome. And let me just tell you a very brief about what this is about and why you should trade options, why with us, what we do different, and really, why not? So, okay, so what are options? They're actually contracts. Options are contracts with options holders that give the options holder, sort of the options writer, that give the options holder the right but not the obligation to trade the underlying stock for a certain price by a certain date. Now, don't get too bogged down in the terminology here. Just know that there's a ready market for you. You don't have to go looking for some. You don't have to go call your friends and say, you want to buy my call options? There's a market there waiting for you. Okay. If you expect the stock to go up, you buy a call option. And if you expect the stock to go down, you buy a put option. Call up, put down. Options have strike prices. This is the set price at which the stock can be bought or sold for if and when the option is exercised. They're all going to expire. This is the date at which the contract expires, the expiration date, and then there's a couple terms here you should probably know. In the money, when the market price of the underlying security is above the strike price, and the calls, that means the strike, and of course the reverse for puts, that allows the options holder to exercise it profitably when you're in the money. If you are out of the money and most of the premium and out of the money is theta loss, that is time loss. When the market price of the underlying security is below the strike price for calls or above the strike price for puts at expiration, it becomes worthless. Okay. So these are all terms you're going to quickly understand, quickly know. Just know that there's a lot of pros with options trading. Very flexible, a lot of strategies available, very cost efficient. You don't have to spend a lot of money on trades. You can actually get in with just even a few $100s. The potential return is huge, and it's actually fun and exciting trading. There are some cons to trading options. Time decay, of course, is going to be chiseling away at your premiums. So is commission. And yes, they are risky. They are risky. You're not going to want to get into this unless you're prepared to take some risk. Why SPY? SPY follows the top 500 US stocks. Efficient use of analysis time. The moves are quick, fairly reliable, consistent, predictive, and even forgiving. Now, prices can be anticipated in any market, up or down. I actually had somebody ask me, Aaron, Paul, he asked me to submit something for him in one of his articles because of in how we don't worry about where the stock is going to go, where the markets are going to go long term. We don't care if there's major recession coming up or major growth or anything because we make our money very quickly in and out in a matter of minutes. So we just look for these small term trades. Well, where's it going to go in the next few minutes? Where's it going to go in the next hour? How, to us, the long term is to the end of the day, or heaven forbid, overnight. But we want to be in and out quickly. And for that reason, we're able to make some serious money. With this, I should say, note the disclaimer, because there's nothing 100% forgiving or predictive or consistent, but as a rule, they can be very forgiving. Why SPY? Why now? You all learn something new. Might as well stay mentally sharp, especially as you get older. It helps your cognitive skills. You might as well earn money while you learn, right? Time passes anyway. Huge profit potential if you're serious. Get that dream lifestyle. This is not just empty words. There are people living the dream here because of trading options. Let me tell you, exciting, thrilling to beat the market. You can pass this knowledge on to your kids. Financial security. I remember talking to some people. They found us on International Living magazine years ago, and this is a magazine. You can't buy this in a bookstore anywhere, a magazine rack. You have to subscribe to this thing through through their portal or whatever. But this is a magazine for expats living overseas. Costa Rica, Panama, places like this, and a lot of, I guess, people like traders like to go there because they can actually trade and make their money down there and live cheap and live like kings down there. But they're saying that a lot of the money they made on the market is because they traded SPY and they made enough that they're able to move down there and just really, really thoroughly enjoy life and not have to work. I've had some people like teachers, professors, different things, government workers, and they learn to trade and then they're able to do this. and it's a dream lifestyle. I've got one gentleman. He's got into scalping trades. Last I heard, he was living on a boat, trading off a boat while he was building his dream house in, I don't know where it was, Dominican Republic or somewhere. So, I mean, there are people living the dream using options as their vehicle. And here's what I really like about it. You can pass this knowledge on to your kids. Now, you might not think it's important, but I feel very liberated, very relieved knowing that my kids know how to go make money if they ever need to. If they ever want to, make some extra money or whatever, they have the ability to actually go and do it. It's kind of like that entrepreneurial spirit. They don't have to be stuck at a job. You know what JOB means, right? Just over broke. And I know people, they just go out looking for a job. They don't think that they can actually, go create their own wealth. And this enables them to do it, and enables them to do, to make as much money as they want, as they can, because they're not constricted with, working 9 to 5, and the boss is going to tell them how much money they're going to make and when they can take their lunch and coffee breaks and all this stuff. They are free. They're totally free, and they are able to make as much or as little as they want based on their own understanding and their own skill set and emotional control. And it's pure capitalism right there, supply and demand. It's all there. And it's total supply and demand. I know somebody's going to say, yeah, but here the markets are manipulated. Well, of course they're manipulated. But so what? You find out how it's manipulated and you ride along with them. You follow the big money. You attach your wagon to the big boys and you go along with them, right? That's what it's all about. So people ask, oh, wait a second, what's the difference between the stock and the option? I want to buy some stock. Let's say you want to buy 100 shares of SPY, and let's say it's worth $500. You're going to spend $50,000 on that versus one contract that might cost you $3 or $300 because each contract controls 100 underlying shares. So you can actually control the same number of shares with one contract of an option versus 100 shares of the stock. So your risk here is this. If something should go horribly wrong with the stock, now I don't think SPY is ever going to go to zero. We got bigger problems if that ever happened. But ask those people who bought GM stock back in 2008, 2009, and it became worthless, or some of those banks, But the most you can lose here is $300 on the option. And that's if you do nothing with it, if it expires worthless. But let's say the stock rises $1. Well, now your stock is valued at $50,100 versus the option if it has a 50 delta. This is one of those Greeks. So 50 delta means that if the stock goes up $1, the option goes up 50 cents. Well, now your option that you pay $300 for is now worth $350, and your return on investment, 0.2% on the stock versus a whopping 17% on the option. Well, which would you rather have? Quite honestly, after I discovered this, I never traded a single stock ever again. Not interested in stock. Not when I can trade options. Folks, this is what it's all about, okay? Seriously, this is a really cool venue to make money, and you can make it with very little money. And it's actually a lot of fun and exciting. That's what I love about it. Folks, we have one stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day, basically. Learn from our mistakes. You're not going to live long enough to make them all yourself. All right. And with that, we're going to call it a night now. It is now 9:28. And we'll see you hopefully in the trading room tomorrow morning. Don't look at the sun. At least not without glasses. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Aaron. Been a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Give it all to you and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You can have it if you dream it. Just be brave and you'll achieve it all. It all. I wanna know if you really want it, and if you do, then just shout it loud and clear. I wanna know if you really need it, and if you do, then just shout it loud and clear.
holistic doctor and a former Olympic athlete. This channel is about